Shalom, y'all. Hope everything is well. Wanting to send everyone some, what I hope will be inspiration before Shabbat. This week's Torah portion, around halfway through the Torah portion, has a very interesting story where it talks about Judah, who was one of the 12 tribes, the brother of Joseph, the child of Jacob, so the fourth generation post the patriarch era of Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac. And Judah, it says in the Torah, the Bible records how he went down, how he left, he went down, and seemingly is just talking about the direction he was taking, but the commentaries explain that it wasn't a simple direction he was taking towards going down. He was actually going down from his position of greatness at that point. And he goes into a discussion in the commentaries about what exactly it was, how the brothers were all upset at him for the sale of Joseph. They felt it was his responsibility, and he seemed to be, in a certain sense, depressed is a strong word, but something like that, feeling very down and just, moving down and going downwards in his life. And then a couple verses later, the Torah tells us that Judah just went to a random place and he married a woman by the name of Bat Shu'ah HaKnani, which translates as the daughter of Shu'ah. That was the name of his now father-in-law. And HaKnani means the Canaanite. And the Talmud asks, how is it possible that Judah, who's like we just mentioned, the first person of greatness in the post-patriarch era, and in a certain sense the 12 tribes are known as the future of the Jewish people, and we all come from them, we're all one of those 12 tribes. How is it possible that he married a Canaanite when Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac went to the greatest of lengths to make sure that their children did not marry Canaanites, and they sent servants and had all these codes and different situations to be able to ascertain that their children by no means married a Canaanite? So the Talmud answers, it's a great question, and the answer is that he actually did not marry a Canaanite. In this particular verse, Canaanite just means he was a merchant. So when the Torah says, Bat Shu'ah HaKnani, it means his daughter, the daughter of Shu'ah, who was a merchant. And that's the end of the Talmud. And the post-Talmudic era commentaries come up to talk about why over here, out of all places, did the Torah use that word, Kanani, which we had the question and then needed to answer that it means something else. It seems out of place, and it's never been done before. Why not just say he was a merchant? There are plenty of Hebrew words that can be used for describing a merchant. And the Al-Sheikh, to name the commentary that explains this, says the reason for this is because although we know he definitely did not marry a Canaanite, we see from the future verses as well that Judah and his children took a step down, and when they left their, the home where they grew up, and they were going in the direction of different places and being in different surroundings, they actually ended up hurting themselves and having their environment have a negative effect on themselves. And the Torah specifically describes over here the fact that Judah married not a Canaanite, but the merchant's daughter, and subsequently his children had terrible stories as recorded in the Bible, and they were killed after that. All that took place because they were in a bad environment, and a bad environment can have a terrible negative effect on a person. To end, Maimonides tells us that if a person can't find a community and an environment which is conducive to their growth in all areas of life, then a person is actually not allowed to live in a community. They're better off living in a desert. And it's a very strong point, but the lesson we all need to take from it is that our surroundings and our friends and the people we hang around with, the associations that we're involved with, that's what defines us. That's who we are, and no matter how great we are, even if we were Judah and his children, we can fall because of the negative effects of our environment. Have an amazing Shabbat, everyone.